What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Thank you for tuning in once again. And if you new, welcome to my channel, Bobo the Barber, Professor Bo. I am him. Welcome. So today we're gonna go jump right back into it, man. We got another fire cut, and we're gonna do a wavelength on top and a nice high and tight ball skin fade. So let's jump right into it. All right, so we already know, first and foremost, we grab our comb and we combing that hair through, combing, making sure it ain't no bumps, ain't no new scabs, ain't no new scars, or nothing like that he got going on in his scalp. So of course, right here, this is our after. This is how it's gonna turn out, fresh, nice and clean. So let's get into it to see how I did it. So like I said, we're gonna comb through them real good. Release that hair. That's one tip right there for y'all. Release that hair. This is another thing that the combing and stuff like that does. It releases the tension. Sometimes they coming straight from a do-rag or something like that, or having their hair tied up or looking crazy or something like that, and all that tension is just tight on the hair. So release some tension by combing through. So you see right here, I grabbed my 1A on my detachable blade, Oster Octanes. Love this clipper right here. This clipper is pretty much, it does everything. It's my workhorse pretty much. So I don't not grab that clipper on certain cuts, you know what I'm saying? So got my clipper, and we are going with the grain because it is a wave cut. Always with wave cuts, go with the grain. Sometimes you can cut in against the grain, but make sure you have a larger guard. So like if I was to cut against the grain on his waves, I would use like a 1 guard open, since I'm using a 1A, or maybe even like a 1.5. But 9 times out of 10, you want to cut with the grain with waves. And our detachable blade is going to chop down a lot of bulk fast. So remember, always time is money. So we want to move the chair, stand in one spot. That's a money saver. And also we want to grab the heaviest tool, the strongest tool, to chop down all that hair as fast as possible. It's neat as well too. So right here, I got my Masters, my Gold Masters clippers, and I got the blade all the way closed, and we're gonna start with our first initial guideline, our ball guideline. And so we're gonna start pretty much at the temple of this head, like right up in there, right probably, what's that? Like it's lined up kind of like with the top of the eyebrows you wanna look at. Like pretty, or more so look at it like the end of the vertical bar. So wherever the vertical bar ends on that person's head, that's where you want to start the ball line if you're doing like a high ball fade like what I'm doing right now. You want to just bring that line all the way around. So from there, what I'll do is grab my trimmers. I'm gonna turn out my trimmers upside down with the end is T-out liners, cordless T-out liners, and I'm gonna ball that all out some more, because everything under this first initial guideline will be completely balled out. So I do this sometimes to kind of like ease my eyes and help my eyes, because I'm only gonna focus on the fading area. So I'm gonna ball all of that, the bottom part out, and honestly, I'll leave the hair there this time. Just cause really. And I flip my clipper around, you'll see, to kind of like make sure there's no hard guidelines or anything like that. So grab my Andes Masters again, and I have my blade fully open. This is pretty much equivalent to a half guard. So I have my clipper all the way open, and I'm gonna make my second initial guideline, and it's gonna go up about a half an inch, or really more so like a quarter And we're gonna do the same thing all the way around his head. I have my brush this time as well too. Some states you wanna make sure, in some states stuff like that, it do not allow barbers to use brushes. But in my state of Missouri, we allow to use brushes. And maybe I'm gonna show you another video on how to clean them. So, cause that's really all the thing happens. Barbers don't know how to clean. Some barbers are very dirty and they don't know how to clean their tools properly. So that's probably why it's rules that you can't even use brushes, but in Missouri we can. So, and you've seen right there that I've already notched up my clipper just one notch, and then I'm going not to the half line, but just about there. Remember last video, I don't know if you watched it. If not, go back and watch it, and you heard me talk about when I watch where my cutting blade goes. So my cutting blade goes like almost right underneath the line, but my steel blade is going to hit the line. So the gap is probably like this big, but it's a major difference when you master it right. So you see me just pretty much just working my clipper as I'm going down on the fade, on the head. So that's literally the whole process of this whole haircut. It's simple. Everything is super simple. There's nothing complex. Cutting hair is easy. And if I can do it, you can do it. And so right here, we got our clipper all the way closed. And now we're gonna pretty much go all the way down to that bottom line and attack that, get that on up out of here. And then this fade, that first initial step is pretty much done and over with. And you'll see the transition. And now our next step will be, of course, completing that second, fading out that second initial guideline. And make sure you looking close too, because some may see it, some may not. But it's literally it's a transition from that second guideline into all the way where we balled out. So make sure you looking close, because that right there is what makes the haircut pops. So when you get this down packed, fading out the first initial guideline out, this is where when you standing far from the cutting, you like, man, that man haircut is fresh. This is where it's at right here. This is how you get that. All right, so now right here, I got my one guard on and I have it all the way open. So it pretty much would be like a 1.5 if you're looking at how it's equivalent. And this guard is the highest I'm going to use. So you will see me going against the grain. So I have my one blade all the way open, and I'm going to the corner of his head, all around his head. And I'm gonna fade down, and I'm gonna bring my lever, all the way down until it's all the way closed, and I'm steady gonna go down, until I completely fade that line out. And of course, eventually I will end with a half guard. And that's really the whole process of my fading techniques. I have different ones that I use for different clients. It just depends on the haircut, the hair type, skin type as well, and head shape. So all of those things is very, very into how I'm gonna fade. Sounds complex, but it's really simple when you get the hang of it. So that's why I will always say to a young barber, cut. No matter who hair it is, just cut it. Get those different fading techniques and different things in your arsenal to where you can attack everything accordingly. So right here, I have my half guard on it, but I have it right in the middle. All the time when I slap my half guard on, you can always start with it open because that's safest. But with me being an experienced barber, I start with my half guard already at half because I'm knowing what it's going to attack, what it's going to do for me. So I start there. And literally now we're attacking this line, our second initial guideline that we put in. Now we're attacking that and making sure that that lightens up, and it will eventually completely be gone. All right, so I went back and I have my one guard on all the way closed, and now I'm just gonna smoothen it out. But my end is masters, because you guys see it. At first I cut it down with my 1A blade, but the clipper guards, the comb guards, gives a smoother cut. We get straight into the lining, and the lineup part, literally, this is how I line up. I start in the middle, and I'm right-handed, so I will go from middle to right, and then I will spin a chair and finish out and go from middle to left. And that is easiest for me. That's what I like to do it, and it works. It works good. Don't be leaning. Make sure that your feet is shoulder width apart. You standing up straight, and always turn your client towards the mirror. Tilt the head straight so you can see. So you can see and he can see that, like, okay, it's nice and lined up. And use your mirror. That's your third eye. And right here, I'm feathering is a technique I call where I'm just literally using the edge of the blade, the corner of the blade, and I'm kind of like just going back to seeing little dark spots that I missed. And that's normal. Don't get discouraged by that. Every fade won't come out perfect by just the simple basic steps that you do. You have to go back and clean up. So this is exactly how it turned out. I did razor them, lean them back real good, raising them real good. Got them nice and neat all together, and this is how the fade turned out. And I want to thank y'all so much for tuning in. Thank you so much. This was a nice and smooth, easy cut. Don't you agree? All right, and if you agree, leave a comment below and tell me how easy it was. Tell me what can help me, what can help you. Tell me how much you like this cut. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Facebook as well too. I will have it in the description below. And also the tools that I use. I will have those in the description and where I got them from. So make sure you click below and check that out as well too. And of course, and if you breathe air and drink water, you should subscribe. So thank you for tuning in. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.